Hi there, Pitch Perfect vocal students and anyone else that's dropped in to pick up some tips and tricks on singing. Now this is specifically aimed at my students, but this will be helpful to anyone who's wanting to understand a little bit more about how they can practice better. So I did a wee video explaining how I ask my students to do their own vocal transcriptions of the songs that they're learning. And that involves sitting down and listening and actually writing out the song. Now, this little video is a bit of an adjunct to that because I've just taught a lesson to someone who didn't do that work. And it's really interesting what came out of that lesson, because it turned out that she did not realize where she needed to be singing up at the end of phrases and down at the end of phrases. And that was catching her out, because it was slightly different each time. You can have the same kind of pattern of notes and it seems to repeat itself, but then the end of a phrase might go up suddenly or it might go down suddenly. And if you haven't written out your words and you are not working with a copy of those words where you've made a note as you're learning to go up at the end of that phrase or go down at the end of that phrase, then you're kind of doubling up your workload, because you're going to have to go over and over and over and over again. Whereas if you have a sheet of paper which clearly marks where you have put a note where there's a difficult phrase or a difficult passage, or if you've worked with me on your song and I've said, well, that needs more of an R vowel there, and you don't have that piece of paper and you haven't written R vowel here, then that's going to slip your mind. So when you come to your practice, when we're away from our lessons, that means that you haven't remembered that that's what you need to do there. So you're potentially going to be stumbling over that for the rest of the week until you come back into a lesson and I go, hang on a second, you did that last week, why are you still doing that? And then you realize, well, I didn't write my words out and I didn't write down that note, that correction. So here it is, folks. Transcribing your words is a learning tool, not just for hearing. Hearing is incredibly important. Listening and active listening is incredibly important. But just as a basic tool, if you're trying to learn a song and you've got difficult passages, and I can promise you, in any song for any singer, there's always what we call a sticky moment, or two, or three. Then if you've gone to the trouble of writing out your words, you've got an opportunity then to write in all the corrections that you need to take note of. So, for example, let's take the song Chiquitita by ABBA. So if we went, let's see, I will get some words up here. Chiquitita, tell me what's wrong. You're enchained by your own sorrow. In your eyes, there is no hope for tomorrow. How I hate to see you like this. There is no way you can deny it. I'm not sure that went right. I can see that you're oh so sad, so quiet. All right, so aside from me maybe messing up the second to last line, I'm not sure about it. It's been a while since I've sung ABBA. Can you tell how some of the ends of those phrases are going up, some are going down? Is there a reason for that? Well, yes, of course there's a reason for that, because the composer has an intention when he writes melody to lyric to lead the idea of the song. So you may have a small inflection at the end of a phrase, but it's right in the middle of a verse. Normally what I would say is that an upward inflection in the middle of a verse is suggesting to the listener that there's more that you need to listen to. It's kind of a leading thing to do, to go up at the end of a phrase, because it leaves the listener kind of hanging for more. Not always, but sometimes. And then conversely, at the end of a verse, you may have an entire phrase that goes down. In other words, it sounds resolved. The song may not be over, but the idea that you presented in that verse is complete. Do you see what I mean? So there's a lot more to learning a song than simply singing it over and over and over again. You need to take notice of the melody, any harmony, what the instrumentation is doing, whether it's helpful, what is the structure of the song, and whether or not there are sticky moments or phrases that might sound the same but have a slightly different ending, and why that ending may go up or go down. And hopefully that really enhances your entire comprehension and helps you properly learn that song, and also just as an artist really understand what's required to deliver that song convincingly, all right, with sincerity. And that's what we hope for every performance. All right, I hope that this has been helpful. I hope this inspires you to go out and transcribe your songs, students. Please bring your pieces of paper in so that you can make those marks and you can make those corrections, and we move onwards and upwards with your technique. All right, see you later. Bye.